Welcome back to 5 Minute Fiduciary, produced by CUI Wealth Management. Our goal with 5 Minute Fiduciary is to provide meaningful education to plan fiduciaries in 5 minutes or less once a week. So let's jump in. In 1974, there was an act passed called the Employee Retirement Income Security Act, or now more well known as ERISA. Section 3 of the Act defines ERISA fiduciaries. This is why a lot of the 401k financial jargon starts with a 316, 321, 338, you get the picture. For those who've read through Section 3 of ERISA, hats off to you. For those who have not read it, spoiler alert, that's not what I would call the most captivating read for most people. 3 of the most commonly referenced sections of ERISA are Section 316, 321, and 338, as they define certain fiduciary roles. Now let's get into why this is all important. You may be working with a non-fiduciary advisor. If that's the case, that advisor cannot take on fiduciary responsibilities, but instead will be there to educate you on different options. On the other hand, you might want a little more support, or you may just want a fiduciary on your team. Section 316 of ERISA goes over administration roles, which deals with the day-to-day operations of the 401k. Some plans decide to hire a service provider to take on the 316 or administration tasks of the plan. If you hire a service provider to take on the 316 duties of your plan, it's important to understand which duties they're taking. Next is a 321 fiduciary. We're not going to get into the nitty-gritty of Section 321 of ERISA, but know from a support standpoint that some advisors can act as fiduciaries. If your advisor is a 321 advisor, it means that he or she can give investment advice. And finally, there is a 338 advisor. A 338 advisor can not only recommend investments, but can manage the investments, meaning they can select and replace investments on behalf of their client. The topics we went over today just touch the tip of the iceberg, but just know that you can hire service providers to take on some of the roles regarding your 401k. It's important to take a step back every now and then and evaluate your service providers to make sure they're taking care of the things that you need taken care of, and also to make sure it's in their contracts to be taking on the roles that you think they're taking on. Thanks for joining us. I hope this has been insightful. I hope this has been helpful. If you have questions or need a second opinion on your 401k or other retirement plan, please reach out to us. And once again, keep in mind that this is not intended to be tax or legal advice. If you need tax or legal advice, reach out to appropriate professionals.